Hey everyone, and welcome back. AI is like moving so fast these days. It's kind of hard to keep up, you know? But that's what we're here for. Today, we're going deep on this new AI model, DeepSeek-R1. And let me tell you, it's seriously next level. We're talking AI that can actually reason like us.
Yeah, it's really incredible. Like, for so long, AI was all about recognizing patterns. But DeepSeek R1, it's like tackling problems that need you to think strategically, even creatively.
And we're going to break down this research paper all about DeepSeek-R1. It's called DeepSeek-R1, Incentivizing Reasoning Capability in LLMs via Reinforcement Learning. Sounds pretty intimidating, right?
Maybe a little.
But don't worry, we're going to make it easy to understand. We'll focus on the coolest and most important parts.
Exactly.
So the paper's all about how the team at DeepSeek AI used this technique called reinforcement learning to teach this AI model how to reason.
Right. And reinforcement learning, you can think of it kind of like training a dog.
Oh yeah, with treats and stuff.
Exactly. You give them a treat when they do something good, and over time, they learn what actions lead to those rewards. And that's basically how they trained DeepSeek R1.
Makes sense. So they trained two versions of this model. One's called DeepSeek-R10. And get this, it actually learned to reason without any examples or
It's
instructions.
pretty mind-blowing.
They just kind of threw a bunch of problems at it and said, figure it out.
And it did. DeepSeek R10 basically had to come up with its own problem-solving strategies from scratch. It got rewarded for getting the right answers, and that's how it learned.
So there's this one example in the paper. It's in table 3. DeepSeek-R10 is working on this math problem, right? And it hits a wall. You can practically see it, like pause, reevaluate, and then boom, comes up with a whole new approach.
I know. It's like watching someone have that aha moment, like that shift in strategy,
Yeah.
being able to step back and reassess. That's like higher level reasoning.
Yeah.
Something we usually think of as like a human thing.
Right. Yeah. So this isn't just AI that's like faster at crunching numbers than us. It's about AI actually thinking things through, more like how we do, and the results. They're pretty wild. Figure 1 in the paper shows how DeepSeek R1 did on some like standardized tests. One of them's called AME, super hard math competition for high schoolers.
DeepSeek R1 actually scored higher than a lot of human students.
Wow.
It's amazing. It also aced these other challenges like code forces. That's basically the Olympics of like competitive coding
Seriously, so this AI can write code that's good enough to win competitions.
against some of the best programmers out there. Yeah.
So we've got this super impressive AI, right? But there's another part of this research that I thought was really cool. They figured out how to take DeepSeek R1's reasoning skills and like transfer them to smaller AI models. They call it distillation.
It's kind of like imagine you have this master chef, right?
Okay.
And they write a cookbook so anyone can use their knowledge.
Got it.
So the idea is to make this super powerful reasoning ability
Mhm.
more accessible,
Yeah.
practical for everyday stuff.
And it worked. Table 5 in the paper shows that even these smaller models, like after going through this distillation process, they got incredible results. They even beat out some much larger models that hadn't been distilled.
Huge implications for the future of AI. Like, imagine sophisticated AI running on your phone or even a tiny sensor.
That would be insane.
Personalized medicine, smart devices, all sorts of possibilities.
So cool. But this kind of cutting-edge research, it's not always easy, right? The paper also talks about some of the challenges they ran into along the way.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Like in section 4.2, they talk about this thing called a process reward model. Didn't really work out for them.
What happened?
It just got way too complicated.
Ah, nice.
But that's how research is. It's all trial and error. You learn from the stuff that works, the stuff that doesn't.
Makes sense. And the fact that they shared these setbacks, it's actually really helpful for the whole research community.
Oh, absolutely. It encourages more collaboration, helps everyone learn from each other's experiences.
Exactly. It's like we're all in this together, figuring out this whole AI thing.
Yeah.
So to sum it all up, DeepSeek R1 is showing us this whole new level of reasoning ability in AI. And it's doing it in a way that could be like scaled up and used in tons of other applications.
It's a huge step forward, and it raises all sorts of interesting questions about the future of AI and how it's going to affect, like, pretty much everything.
Totally. And we're going to dive into those questions in our next segment. We'll talk about what this means for different industries, the potential benefits, and of course, what we need to be careful about as this technology keeps getting more advanced. Stick around. All right, so we're back. We've been talking about DeepSeek R1 and its pretty amazing ability to reason like a human. But what does this really mean for us out in the real world? I mean, like, what can we actually do with this?
Well, one area where DeepSeek-R1 could be a total game changer is scientific research.
Okay, yeah, I can see that.
Imagine this AI, like going through tons of data and finding patterns that would take human researchers forever to find.
Right. And maybe even like pointing to breakthroughs that we haven't even thought of yet.
Exactly. Like think about medical research.
Oh, wow, yeah.
We could speed up the development of new drugs, personalize healthcare, even get closer to cures for diseases we haven't been able to crack yet.
That would be incredible.
And it's not just medicine. This kind of AI could completely change things in fields like climate modeling or material science. We could solve some of the world's biggest problems with AI, like DeepSeek-R1.
It's like having a super-powered research assistant working 24/7, right?
Exactly.
But, okay, so science is one thing. What about other industries?
Oh, tons of possibilities there, too.
Mm.
Like, imagine an AI that can analyze market trends perfectly, optimize supply chains, or even design personal financial plans.
So businesses would obviously be pretty happy about that.
Absolutely. We're talking about a whole new level of efficiency.
Okay. But what about, like, the creative side of things? I know some people get a little nervous about AI, like, taking over art or music or writing. Could DeepSeek R1 put creative people out of a job?
I think it's more about collaboration than replacement.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Imagine having an AI partner that can help you brainstorm ideas, try out different styles, even help you get unstuck when you're having a creative block.
So instead of being afraid of AI, we can think of it as a tool to help us be even more creative.
Exactly. Who knows what kind of amazing new art forms we could come up with together.
It's pretty exciting to think about. But we do have to talk about the potential downsides too, right? Like we've talked about all the good stuff. But what about the challenges? What should we be careful about?
Yeah, definitely. We have to be responsible with how we develop and use this kind of AI. And one of the big things people worry about is jobs.
Right. Like if AI can do more and more of the things humans do now, what happens to all the workers?
It's a valid concern, yeah. And it's something we need to think about carefully. But throughout history, new technology has always led to new jobs,
Yeah.
new industries we couldn't have even imagined before.
It's about adapting, right? Like as AI takes over some tasks, we as humans need to focus on the things that we're uniquely good at. Things like creativity, critical thinking, emotional intelligence.
Exactly. Those are areas where humans will always have an advantage over AI.
So it's not about humans versus AI. It's about working together, using the strengths of both to solve problems and create new opportunities that benefit everyone.
Absolutely. And that means talking openly and honestly about the potential impacts of AI, both the good and the bad. We need researchers, policymakers, and the public all involved in these discussions. We need to make sure AI is developed and used in a way that's good for everyone.
Right. Okay, so I want to go back to something we mentioned earlier, the distillation process, where they take DeepSeek R1's reasoning ability and transfer it to smaller models. So does that mean like squeezing all that knowledge into a smaller package makes it less powerful? Does it lose something in the process?
That's a really interesting question.
Hmm.
It kind of gets to the heart of what intelligence really means. Can you really bottle up reasoning ability? Well, this research suggests that you can, at least to an impressive degree.
So imagine shrinking the power of DeepSeek R1 down to the size of like a smartphone. What kind of crazy things could we do with that?
I know, right? Think about personalized medical diagnosis
Mm-hmm.
right in your pocket. AI tutors that adapt to how you learn best.
Right.
Even smart devices that can predict what you need and make your life easier.
It sounds like science fiction.
I know. But it's closer than you think. This whole distillation thing could be what makes AI truly everywhere, woven into our everyday lives.
Wow.
It's a really exciting time to be following this
I
thing.
know. And I think we're going to be talking about AI reasoning a lot more in the next few years.
Absolutely. This
Yeah.
is just the beginning.
Yeah.
Now, before we move on, I want to go back to one more thing about the DeepSeek-R1 research that I thought was really cool.
Welcome back to the deep dive. So we spent this whole episode really digging into this AI model, DeepSeek R1. It's really pushing the limits of what AI can do, you know.
Yeah, it's been pretty wild, huh?
Totally. We've covered a lot, like all the amazing potential benefits and also the challenges we got to keep in mind, as this technology keeps developing. So I guess as we wrap things up, what are the biggest takeaways you want our listeners to walk away with?
I think the most important thing is DeepSeek-R1 shows just how far AI has come.
Yeah.
It's not just simple calculators anymore.
Hmm.
This is AI that can solve really tough problems, think logically, and even change its strategy in the middle of a problem.
Right. And it can do it all on its own, right?
Exactly.
It's crazy to think about, AI can now do things we used to think only humans could do. And that brings us to another big takeaway: the power of reinforcement learning. Just by rewarding the model for doing the right thing, it's amazing how well they've been able to teach AI to reason.
Yeah, it is. And it's like we're giving AI the tools to learn and explore by itself. And the results, like with DeepSeek-R1, they're amazing.
Yeah, totally. And I'm really excited about this idea of like AI working with human intelligence, not replacing us, but like being our partner,
Huh.
helping us solve problems and create new possibilities.
Absolutely. Humans and AI, like teaming up. Think about all the fields this could revolutionize. Medicine, art, just everyday problem solving.
I mean, imagine a world where doctors can diagnose diseases way more accurately, architects can design buildings that are like both beautiful and super functional, and artists can just like blow our minds with new forms of creative expression.
Yeah, it's pretty inspiring, right?
Totally. And thanks to breakthroughs like DeepSeek-R1, that vision is like actually getting closer.
Definitely. But we can't forget to be cautious. We have to be responsible with how we develop and use AI, right?
For sure. Like fairness, transparency, making sure it's good for everyone.
Exactly. We need to keep talking about the good and the bad of AI and make sure everyone's involved in figuring out how to shape its future. Researchers, policymakers, the public, everyone.
So to all our listeners out there, like stay curious about AI, stay informed, and keep asking questions. We're all in this together, and the future is happening right now. We can all help make sure AI is a force for good in the world.
I couldn't have said it better myself. We all have a role to play.
That's a great point to end on. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into the world of AI reasoning. We'll be back soon with more explorations into the crazy world of technology and how it's changing everything. Until then, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep learning.